Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. We're back out here on this Jeep again. So we're going to be remaking that panel. Main reason that we're remaking the panel is because somebody had remade the opposite side of the vehicle. They actually used an Arctic Cat sign, if you guys remember from the other videos. So we remade the other side to make proper panels. And the amount of time that it takes me to make one of these panels is probably about the same amount of time, if not way less, than it would be for me to strip the other panels and you know, make any repairs needed and whatnot. So you know, and why make two new panels for one side and not the other? So just to keep everything symmetrical and looking nice, you know, we're making both sides. So I have them all marked out. I have this one all marked out, ready to go. So we're just gonna get it cut out. I did make it. It's about a 1/4 inch bigger than that one. Not lengthwise, but height-wise. For the bend over. You know, we don't lose a little bit with the bend. And I have a little extra I can trim. I'd rather trim off extra than not have enough. So, but I'm ready to cut it, so let's get to cutting. Let's get to cutting. So I just ran this one edge through the shear real quick. I don't know if you guys could hear it over the compressor, the pop, 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 because this was a previous cut piece. Already, I had already cut something off of here, and I could just tell looking at it that, you know, it was pretty straight, but could have been a little straighter, so I just ran it through the shear real quick just to straighten up that edge. But I think we can figure out now which way our roll needs to go. I have it marked out on this side, but we're gonna lay a mark on this side as well, just to make sure. Well, so I can kind of look from the top and line it up, but I will also look at the bottom and line it up on the bottom as well, so that we get our bend in the correct spot the first time. So I'm just double checking. So on this one, so you know what I did was I took this and measured, and we got 1 foot. And then this one here, I measured, we got one foot and a 1/4 inch. So I left a 1/4 extra just in case, and I left a 1/4 at the top. So. And the reason that I left 1/4 at the top is because I measured this one over here, the new one that I made for the other side. And it looks like we're, you know, about 2 inches at the start of the roll, to maybe a little over 2 inches at the face of the panel. So, like I said, I'd rather have a little extra. I can always take off if I don't like it. as possible. So you see I already have my holes marked out that we need to drill. So we need this to bend over yonder. So I'm gonna get some clamps. We're gonna clamp this down, and we shall put our bend in. Let's just get a good straight edge on there, just cause I'd rather have a straight edge than clamping everything down tight. And nothing moves. Hey, let's not dent it. Okay, nothing to it but to do it. Okay. So I think we're good. We're good. I'm just gonna kind of hold it up to our one over here. Let's see. Pretty good. I do have a little extra over on this side, which is okay. Straighten this up real quick. Not putting any extra bends on it or anything like that. It's just, I'll show you in a minute. So you can see I don't even know if you guys pick it up in the camera, but it's just leaned out this way a little bit. I want it more straight up and down. So just gonna kind of push it that last little bit by hand. When I was pushing down this way, I was hitting up against the bumper, and I just couldn't get it to go just that little extra bit that it needed. So I think we're good there. You know, everything gets bolted to the piece along the side, the top, the bottom. Kind of get pulled where it needs to go. So I think we're good. I'm just gonna take a wee little bit off of it just going to guesstimate about 1/4 of an inch. That was a good guesstimate of 1/4 of an inch. Okay, now one more thing that I gotta do real quick. We have, where did I put the old piece? So, looks like it's about 1/4 inch above all these holes that I lined, marked out. It has a slight bend over to it in the brake. So, just gonna guesstimate it again. It looks like it's about 1/4 inch above my marks here. Just a slight one. Okay, so that's it. That's our, that is our panel. I wish this crease would come out a little nicer, but the thing about using that brake, maybe there's adjustments all over the thing. Maybe there's an adjustment that I don't know about. Somebody in the comments knows about that machine and knows that there's a proper way to adjust it. But it always seems like it bends heavier on one end than the other end. So if you're not doing a straight 90 with it, it's always going to be a harder line on one side than the other. So I gotta go a little extra hard on this side just to get the crease in over there. Then I gotta come back over here and kind of try and relax that curve over here. So, which it's not a huge deal, and especially on these, because the step mounts right here. So you don't ever see this because the step mounts right here, and you won't see it. The only reason that I put this bend in here is because that piece has it. The one that somebody made out of the Polaris sign or Articat sign or whatever, it didn't have that bend in it. I put that bend in because the blue one that seems to be, I could be wrong, but it seems to be a factory piece, that one has it. So it seemed to be factory, so I put it in. Did it need it? Probably not, but I put it in there anyways. So, but that's it for this guy. All I gotta do now is just drill the holes, and he's ready to mount up. I'm super happy with them. I will get the holes drilled. I don't think you guys need to see that. I think there's a video out there of me doing the other side, so maybe the holes are in there. You know, kind of explain. I drill a hole at the top of the oval and at the bottom of the oval, and then I use my little whiz wheel to cut out between the two holes, and then I use my little reamer to clean it up, and it gives you a nice little oval. Just drill a hole at the top, drill a hole at the bottom, cut out in between, and then use your little reamer, or you could use a file to clean it up. So that's pretty much it. I think it's pretty basic how to drill a hole, so I'm not going to video it. I'll see you guys once it's up and mounted on the truck. I also have to mark out where where it mounts up at the top. So I think what I'm going to do when I mark the top is I'm just going to make sure that it seems to be in the same spot as the other one that I made, and then I'm just going to put the other one I made on top of this one and we'll mark it, is what it is. So but I will see you guys probably after it's installed. So I'll be back. High five. We're getting ready to put our curved flange in on this one. For some odd reason, last time I thought I had this in the vise, but for some odd reason it don't fit. I don't know if I got it too long or what, but okay. So we got that flange hammered over. I think we'll be okay. I don't think it went as well as it did the first time. When I started hammering it, the buck moved. So you seen I had to take off the center clamp, and I swear the last time I made this, I had it in the vise, and it just wouldn't fit in the vise this time. And I measured it compared to the other one, and the measurements are the same, so I don't get it. I'd have to go back and look at the last video and see, but I have not gone back and looked. So, but we got that flange hammered over. I think it looks pretty good. Do a little hammering and dollying by hand real quick, just kind of straighten everything back out, or try and see if I can make it a little nicer. Just a little cleanup, a little fine tuning. If you look at the original ones, they're not absolutely perfect either. So, but I think we're good. I'm happy with that. So let's put our top bend in. Before I do this, last night I used this guy as a brake, making that other piece, and I didn't realize that it had slag on here, and put a couple of marks in the piece last night, and I don't think it bent as nice as it could have because of this. I didn't realize it till after I was done. And it sucks, a couple little pieces of slag can mess you up. Yeah, it looks like we're about the same. get this bent. I need to clean up a little. There's too much stuff out. Okay, that's it. We're pretty good. Yeah, we're even good there. Just a little cleanup. Looks like I got to cut this corner off. We got a couple holes to drill, but that's it. Second piece done. Beauteous. Okay, these pieces came out good. I'm super happy with them. You know, I didn't film earlier. We left off last night with getting that other piece done. I needed to drill the holes in it. So we got the holes all drilled in, and it's mounted. Measured everything. Everything lines up. We're good to go. So there's a brace that comes out from the frame that this sits on, so you know this will level up once it's back on the frame. So I mean it's pretty level now, but you know if it looks a little crooked in the video, it's because this needs to be sitting on the frame. So but yeah, looks good. So I'm gonna clean up real quick, and then we'll get the holes drilled in that other piece, and we'll get it mounted. So, and then we're gonna make this piece that goes here next, which is this piece. So it matches, you know, you got the three pieces here. So that's next. We're gonna build that guy right there. So, but let me clean up. I need to clean up my mess I made. It's quite the mess in here. Quite the mess. I'll be back. High five. So we're just closing up shop for the night. I just walked around and shut some lights down and TV down and shut the heaters off. But as you can see, we pretty much got this whole side piece put together. Looks nice. And off camera, I whipped that out real fast. Just made that, took measurements off the other one, marked it out, cut it out, bent it up. The wife was out here while I did that. She don't like being on camera, so, and it didn't take me, I don't know, it took me half hour, 45 minutes maybe to knock that piece out. Probably a half hour. So, but it's looking good, and we are lining up with the other side. I put the other side all back together, so this side's all put back together too. So tomorrow I have to come out. We have to cap the top, cap the bottom. Then I'll paint the inside. I gotta clean up this blue that's up here. We gotta paint behind it, and then we gotta paint the inside. And then that can dry tomorrow, and Monday we can weld it all in. So, and then I think there's only a couple more little things on the inside of these corners. I welded up these corners so it was all one piece. I have not done that yet on this. I realized it today when I was putting it together that I forgot to do that. So yeah, we got to do that and cap that up. I had to do it on the other side, but there's a stress crack in here. So I gotta grind that out and weld that up. I did it on the other side. And I think that's it that's left for this side. Let's just weld up the corners on the step, cap this, get this welded on, painted and welded on, grind that crack out and weld that crack up. And then other than just like stripping, you know, the last little bit of paint off of this side, I think we're pretty much done. Oh, you know what? I gotta pull this fender off, and we gotta weld up the inside of this, and I gotta do a little hammering and dollying around here to straighten that out. Hit the inside with the grinder real quick. So we're getting down to the last little few pieces of this side. Last night we left off with, I just finished this box and set it up here. We need to clean it up a little bit. I need to take just a little bit off of these edges, and then we need to cap it. So that's what I'm gonna work on right now, is just getting it cleaned up a little bit. And we're gonna work on some caps. Some safety specs. Okay, I think we got it. I just took a little bit off of the top because we're gonna plate the top and plate the bottom, and that's gonna add a little bit of meat to the bones there. So I measured this and cut this so that it fit in here nicely. And now, you know, just trim a little off. We'll put the top and the bottom on there. That'll add a little to it. Trimmed up the one side because it looked crooked, and now it's too short. Oh well. Try that again. Let's try this again. Okay, I think we're good with that. Pull this one to the bottom. Yeah. This one now. Okay, we got these pieces cut out. We're gonna go ahead and get them tacked in place. Let's double check it on the truck before we weld it up. It'd be a shame to get it all welded up and then it don't fit. I think we're good. I just want to clean up this edge that needs to be cleaned up a little here. Okay, I think we're good. Get my welding helmet. Okay, got welded my magnet there. Well, I didn't weld my magnet, it melted my magnet. I would have never melted my magnets before. Okay, we got it all welded up. I welded everything from the inside. It's got nice little welds in there. I love welding corners. They always weld so nice. So, I'm gonna let that thing cool off. It is mighty hot. And then we'll get it ground up and cleaned up and ready to we gotta paint the inside of it. So, but I want to let it cool off before I grind it, just because it's super hot and I don't want to hold it. So I'll be back. Okay, give it, I don't know, about 7-8 minutes, cool off. Now we're gonna grind her up, clean her up. Okay, so I got the faces and the bottoms and all this stuff all cleaned up, but we need to clean up inside these corners, which that's where these lovely little tools come in. So just so you guys can see like what I'm doing, you know, we got that little weld in there, and I need to get it ground down close enough just so I can, you know, I will take some Marglass or some Bondo, like, and I will jam my finger into there as tight as I can and swipe it. I don't want a super round corner in there. I want to kind of keep it a nice crisp, you know, corner, but we do need to put a little bit in there. So I'm just going to grind it down enough to where I can do that. Unfortunately, this thing only grinds round, so... Okay, so before I tried talking to you over the compressor, you can see I ground up and cleaned up those corners, and I also just very lightly hit the top edges on both sides, where the weld kind of, you know, blistered through to the other side, and you know, that's close enough that I bet I could just prime it and we'd be okay. The main reason that I want to smear a little filler in there is because even though I welded it nice and good from the inside, and the reason that I welded it from the inside was because it's almost impossible to keep that nice hard straight edge if you were to weld it from the outside and then use this guy, which is round, to go in there and clean up all these corners. For one, that would just be a lot of work, and by the time you were done, you would not have that nice crisp clean edge. You would have a rounded edge in there that chances are would probably be wavy, because it's near impossible to get it absolutely perfect with using these. They're very high speed and they bounce around a lot, and you know, you would have to go in by hand and file everything, and with files you're not going to get in the very corner of it, so it's better to just weld it from the inside and then just kind of clean up the outside the best you can. But there is still a seam between the two pieces of metal. I can see it when I'm looking at it, that there is a seam there, and I don't, like, if you see right at this top corner, you can kind of see that there's an open seam right there. Now, being the bottom, I could go through and I could clean that, I could weld that up and clean that up so that that seam is gone. But as long as I put a little filler over there so that that seam gets filled in and nothing can get into that seam, you know, it'll last a good long time. Now, if you're welding panels together where you can get to them, you don't want to leave a seam like that ever. But unfortunately, on something like this, you don't have a choice. Maybe somebody has a better way of doing it so that that seam is gone. You know, I had my welder set as high as it could go. You watched me weld it. I welded good and hot. I did not like do a little tack, cool it, do a little tack. Like, I straight welded that thing hot as could be to try and melt it in all the way through. It is nice, good welds in there. It just didn't get rid of that seam on the outside. So I need to put something in there to seal that seam up. If you can get it with primer and paint, awesome. But this is up like this, you know, it's going to be kind of hard to, you know, try and fill that with you know, primer and paint. Even if I just, you know, I may not even use Bondo. I just may use this a little bit of seam sealer and just squish my finger as tight as I can and pull it as tight as I can. And then, you know, we're good to go. So once these are welded into the truck, you know, I got a body work up to each side along the side of the bed. And then I'm going to seam seal this around the bed. Once it's in primer, we'll seam seal it. I'm not going to do seam seal with a brush. It'll be with my finger. I will pull it as tight, as clean as possible, not leaving any excess, you know, seam sealer on this panel or on the bedside. It's just going to be to fill in the crack all the way around so that water and moisture and dirt and nothing can get behind this, because I didn't cap the insides. I didn't cap the inside of the other one either. And the reason being that I didn't cap the insides was because I didn't want to make this edge any fatter than it needed to be, or distort this edge by welding any of this up. You know, if I would have just laid a piece of sheet metal over here and we welded it up, this edge would have been super thick, and you would have known that this edge was way thicker than the other edges on the vehicle. And if I would have made one to fit all the way inside here and welded it all up, chances are these would not be straight anymore. They would have been. So it's just better. I'm going to paint all the inside. I'm going to put lots of paint in there so it's good and sealed and clean, and so that way it's protected in there. And then we'll seam seal the outside to keep any of the elements from the outside weather getting in there. So just got to make sure everything's good and sealed, and it'll last a long time. So and that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I tried to explain to you. I guess, you know, you guys will, when we get to that stage of you know, body work and priming and seam sealing and all that stuff, you guys will get to see, you know, how we take care of little spots like that where you would be worried about the elements getting into. So as long as you make sure everything's good and sealed, and then you take good care of the car afterwards, you know, you won't have any problems with it. You know, this vehicle will never see a day of winter. You know, I highly doubt, you know, if it's raining, he's not going to take the vehicle out. Not to say he won't get caught in the rain if he's out at a grocery store or a car show or something. I mean, you know, it happens. You can only plan so far ahead. So I couldn't tell you how many car shows I've been to where it was a nice, sunny, beautiful day, and then you're at the car show and all of a sudden it starts storming, and it wasn't supposed to be like that. So, and then you're caught, you know, you're caught in a rainstorm. So the worst is the hailstorms. I've been caught in a couple of those coming home in a show car. So that is horrible. But anyway, so I'm not gonna force you guys to watch the rest of this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint this top here, and I'm gonna paint inside here, the back sides of these, with just rattle can 2-in-1 Rust-Oleum primer paint all in one. So just gonna clean this up in here a little bit. I'm gonna blow a sandblaster in there just to kind of clean up these edges because it's got all the burn and dust and gunk from welding in there, the oxidization or whatever chemical burns in there. So we'll just sandblast that up real quick to get rid of it, and then I'm gonna throw some paint on it. I'm also going to just real quick, it'll take me a couple minutes. I'm just going to clean up a little bit of that blue that's up there where this is going to sit, and we're going to black that out as well, so that when we put this over it, there is actually paint behind it as well, on the bedside. I did it on the other side. So I don't know if that stuff got videoed or not. Maybe in a previous video. So, but that's it. I'm done filming for the night, so I will see you guys later. I am out. After this paint has sat overnight and dried, you can see we sprayed behind it, sprayed the inside. I let it sit all night and dry. I measured a center mark on here and then centered it in the bed. And I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but I used just a sharp pick tool to scribe the lines in there so that we can center this. You know, those are lines getting it centered. So, and this is how I did the other side. So, scribe the lines. Now we'll drill. What I did on the other side was I drilled a hole near the top, near the bottom on each side. And then we just, once I put it up there, then I scribed the holes. We cleaned off the little paint area there, and then we welded this on. And then I came back and I, grinded the paint off each side. So, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna first start with making our holes here. I actually, I dug out an old tool. I have a couple of them. I know the one that I had quit working, and I had one that I had acquired along the way that they've just been sitting in my toolbox for years. And I haven't used them because I remember that the last time I tried using mine, it didn't work. So, so I dug them out and I oiled them up and put some new fittings on them, and I found out that I have one that actually works. So, it's a cool thing. And it's gonna come in very handy. I'm glad to find out that I actually have one that works. So I don't know where you get these anymore. You used to be able to get them at Harbor Freight. I think that might be where these are from, but I guarantee, maybe not. I don't know. I guarantee you this tool's over 20 years old. And the one that I have looks identical to this, so I'm sure it's the same. But one side punches a hole, one side punches a stamp. If you can get them, they're very cool tools. They're very nifty. I'm glad I have this one that works. I would suggest, I guess, if you can get one, spend the good money on it so that it don't break right after you start using it. But you can see one side, it gives you a step notch so that you can, overlap your metal. So if we were to, make sure I do it the right way here. So, gives you a nice little step notch that you could overlay your metal in. And then if you go around to the other side, it'll punch some holes in it, and then you can just overlap your metal and weld up that hole, and you're good to go. So it's a nifty little tool. I'm going to use it to punch a hole in here, and then we can, I'll make them a little bigger, I think. Just make sure you don't get your finger in there like I just did and smash your finger. But now we got a couple holes in there. Pop them on the other side. I'll use my little step bit. We'll bring them up to the next size. So, I got a little close to the edge there, but we'll be okay. So, I think it's just a cool thing to have to punch your hole in. Instead of having to, you know, I use a little drill bit to drill a pilot hole, and then we come back with this thing to make it bigger. Well, that just kind of punches our pilot hole for us. And I'm just going to go up to the, you know, next step. And then the next step up just gives us a better hole for a bite, you know, for the weld to bite to. So I'll put it back in here. I'll line up my marks that I put in there with the I don't know, my little stabby tool. So we got our marks lined back up. I gotta make sure I push it up to where I want, because I left room in between the fender and this, so that you know, we have room for body work and paint and primer. So now we got our holes marked. So I just grabbed a new disc so that, you know, I'm not having to push to get to the grinding stones or anything. Nice new disc will give me a nice clean small area. You know, I don't want to take off too much and lose our protection. You know, that paint was put in there for protection. So I just want to clean off just enough for me to get a weld started, and you know, if there's any paint my way, I'll burn through it, but I need some bare metal to start. So now we can put this in and we'll line everything back up. And okay, so we got that welded in. I'm good with it. I'm happy. I just gotta grind them down now. It'll make it a lot easier grinding down with the fender off. So I still gotta weld up this lower lip underneath here. So the fender's gotta come off anyways. I got a little bit more work to do to this step, so that step's gotta come off. So I think now I'm gonna pull those couple of things off. And then we can, you know, finish up. I gotta weld this little thing over here, so we might as well do that. So, I don't know, you guys have seen me pull this truck apart, you know, probably 100 times now. Or at least I've pulled it apart 100 times. I don't know how many times I've videoed it, but I know I've videoed it before, so I'm not going to video it again because it's just a repeat of a repeat of a repeat. So I guess I'll see you guys when it's time to do some grinding or some welding or something along those lines. So, but we're in. I'm happy. Looks good. All right. High five. Okay. Got a couple of pieces pulled off. We'll just get this cleaned up. So yeah, let's clean it up. Couple of pinholes that I need to hit real quick. So we got that piece all welded in and cleaned up. Happy that that's done. I got these couple of spots I got to weld underneath here because I replaced this piece. And then we gotta just kind of clean up this edge. I left it a little long, rather be long than short. So we'll grind that up, clean that up. If I turn the welder back on. Much better. Okay. I think I'm good with that. I think this thing's ready for sandblasting. I do, I see this, whatever they got going on here you can see a little light through right above my finger. It looks like some kind of patch. I don't know what it is exactly. I don't know if it's something from the factory or if they put a patch in there or something. I'll find out once I sandblast it, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have to cut a little bit out of there and put a new piece in, because it don't look good. I see a couple spots that, I don't know, to me it looks like there's a patch in there, but I won't know until we get it sandblasted and cleaned up. Which, like I said, I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Tomorrow's supposed to be like 75 degrees out, so be a good day for sandblasting. I was kind of hoping that I was gonna get everything done on the bed and be able to sandblast tomorrow. And I don't think that I'm gonna be able to get the whole bed wrapped up to where I could sandblast tomorrow. I could if I put in a 12-hour day today. I'm sure I could get it ready for sandblasting tomorrow. But yeah, I'm not about that life. I work at my own pace. I don't rush nothing. So does look like the rest of the week is going to be anywhere from mid 60s to 70s. So hopefully we can maybe get some stuff knocked out this week. Today's only Monday, so if we can get it sandblasted this week, that would be awesome. If not, like I said, I'm not trying to rush nothing. We do have to get this thing done though, so I gotta keep working on it. I'm out here working every day on it, so so this is the next thing that I gotta do. So on the other one, it had a really bad tin can to it. Like, it was popping one way and popping back and popping the other way. This one does not do that. There was just something funky going on with that other one, and I was trying everything I could to get it to stop doing that. And I had welded up these corners where they're open on both corners. I welded them up to try and get it to stop. I did eventually get it to stop. If you guys haven't seen those videos, you can go back. There was a lot of hammering and dollying and some heat shrinking and a lot of welding, but I did get it to stop doing that. But now I need to make this one match the other one, so we gotta weld these up. So, if I remember correctly, this one here I just welded up. The other one is on this side. I actually made a little filler piece in there, and then we welded that up. So good little area to weld. I'm gonna get my welding gloves. Okay, that's a good weld right there. So this other side, we need to grab a little piece of metal and make a filler piece out of. Let's see, it's a little scrap piece from underneath. That'll work. Welded up nicely. Good. Okay, so we got that wrapped up, ready for sandblast. We got that step wrapped up, that's ready for sandblast. Luckily, the step, some of the smaller parts I can just throw in the sandblasting cabinet. So let's weld up that crack over here. So there's this crack right in there. So it was on the other side, stress point I guess on this bed. But let's, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bead that out and put a nice hot weld in there. Just taking that off so I don't get weld splatter all over it. Drill a hole at the end of the crack. You know, I'm sure welding it up we would have been fine, but you always want to drill a hole at the end of the crack so it ends in. Okay, nice hot weld there. A little snake, I guess, a little S-weld. I'll let that cool off and I can grind him nice and flat now. Okay, camera died while I was grinding that down, but we got it all grinded down. She looks good. So that weld that's in there was there from whoever built this bed. So that weld is staying there. I'm keeping it there. But everything I just welded is all grinded down and back to looking how it was prior to me having to weld it, minus the crack. But yeah, that's it. So I think it's lunchtime for me. It's way past lunchtime actually. So I need to get in and get some food in my belly. So I will see you all later. Thanks for joining us. I am out. Bye bye.